the impact this is going to have is just untold. I think Matt was saying at the outset, it's incalculable at this point, or should say the calculations are enormously high at this point. It's only going to get worse. I would imagine that some of the efforts to try to get water into these areas from various states or neighboring states is underway, and I'm hopeful and prayerful that the weather improves so that they can at least begin to do the aerial water drops in ways that can be more helpful. But this is just an awful, awful situation, and my prayers go out to everyone in that area.
Jesse Waters.
Yeah, we're all praying for everybody out there. We all know people and hope everything turns out for you, Kennedy, and your friends. That video we just saw is so symbolic. You have one political leader who's out of the country. You have another political leader who makes it about himself. And you have the other political leader who's just not doing his job. They've contained 0% of this fire, and it didn't need to be this way. This man cannot manage water or forests. Did you know they've had record rainfall and he hasn't built a single reservoir? Hasn't broken ground in a single reservoir. It rains in California and it just washes into the ocean. He is bragging about tearing dams down. He tore more dams down than anybody in the history of this country because the Native Americans told him to do it because it would save some salmon. Now look at this. A couple years ago, Donald Trump issued an order to send water from Northern California to Southern California, and Gavin Newsom sued Donald Trump to block it. Why? Because of smelt, Dana.
Yep.
It's the size of my pinky, this fish. It's supposedly an endangered species. No one really knows what it's there for. No one really cares. And you know what just happened? There's no water coming out of the fire hydrant because this man mismanages the water there. And then it turns out last month, you know what? Biden and Newsom decided, we don't need to protect the smelt after all.
Yep.
The whole thing was worthless. And then you get to these forests. He hasn't built any of these roads that are used to escape. You basically have Pacific Palisades, and you guys know this. You're in a cocoon surrounded by state parks, and you're blocked by the ocean. There's one way in and there's one way out. It's a death trap. He hasn't built a single escape road. So these people are just going to cook. And he doesn't do any controlled burns. This whole time, barely does any of it. Has cut money for forest. They spend more money on homeless than they have on fires. And both of them are out of control. And then there's Karen Bass. She was invited to an inauguration for an African president and she left. Why is an American politician going to some other politician in another country's inauguration? That doesn't make any sense to me. You can say no sometimes. This whole thing is a disaster. It's criminal what's happening right there. And you pay so many damn taxes in that state. They should be able to serve the public.
They don't serve the public. And I'm telling you right now, you would think that our roads would be pristine. They're not. You would think you wouldn't find one pothole in California. Oh, no. There's plenty of potholes. It's unbelievable. The roads are a disaster. You would think, like, wow, with all that's taxes, what do you actually get? Well, we get to give illegal immigrants free health care. That's what we do with our tax dollars. What does your state do? This is unbelievable. Newsweek. Why is Trump attacking Gavin Newsom over Delta smelt fish? Oh, well, this is interesting. President-elect Donald Trump has launched a sharp critique of the California Governor Gavin Newsom, blaming him for the state's devastating fires and accusing him of prioritizing environmental policies, including protection of the endangered Delta smelt fish over the needs of Californians. That's exactly what he's doing. He's been doing that since he was elected, because it's always easy to virtue signal with other people's money and other people's lives. On his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump claimed Newsom's refusal to sign a water restoration declaration caused inadequate water supplies for the firefighter effort, labeling the situation a true disaster, because it is a true disaster. Well, do you think it isn't a true disaster? You can call it a natural disaster if you want. This would all be mitigated substantially had there been adequate forest management. Well, what? Here's the thing. So you tear down all the dams. I remember when it was raining here just a couple of years back. The rain was like, it was so much, it was ridiculous. Like we couldn't believe it. It was great. And then you think, wow, okay, well, somehow we can, get that water, capture it, and we can use it. No. You just let it wash off into the ocean. No. We're not going to capture any of that water. The difference is ideological. By the way, you will not reconcile it. You won't. I'll prove it. You won't. You will not reconcile the ideological differences between what we call today conservatives and the left. You will not reconcile it. It's unbelievable. In response, Newsom's office denied the existence of such a declaration, emphasizing that the governor is focused on fighting the fires that he actually perpetuated and providing resources to affected communities. That's what he's trying to do. Are you? Are you now? Well, there's the fish that he's protecting. And then, of course, you just heard Jesse Waters, and you know what? We don't need to really protect it anymore. Really? Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, Stu, you're a bit biased because, you're a Trump supporter. And no, I just adhere to common sense. Common sense. So let me show you something here. Did you hear about this? Insurers dropped fire coverage for California homes months ago. Now wildfires are claiming more houses in Los Angeles. Wow. It's almost as if it's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. I'll prove to you that it's not a conspiracy. It isn't. Oh, those insurance companies have it in with Gavin. Maybe, but probably not. Because it was an open secret. You see, for a long time, it was possible for a fire to rip through parts of California and absolutely devastate it. It was a possibility. This used to be a red state. And so it was the possibility. But we managed forests correctly, and conservatives would, conserve the water. We would capture the water. We did a lot of stuff. So we could have mitigated something like that happening. But with Gavin Newsom, it's the exact opposite. You can't mitigate it. If you do, you're betraying the fish. You think that this is a conspiracy? It's not. It's just that they saw the writing on the wall. They figured, this is no longer a possibility. This is now a probability, and we're getting out. They did a cost-benefit analysis and figured, okay, we're out. If you're going to continue to pamper these conditions, okay, well, we're not going to insure you. Why is it that throughout all of the time that we were a red state, why didn't insurance companies bail then? Because we were actually mitigating the situation. So it was sure a possibility, but this was now a probability because of bad policies, because of people like Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass. They don't care. It's not going to cost them anything. All of these people that voted for Joe Biden, all these superstars, I don't feel sorry for them because they all knew as well. Hold on a second. You think I'm just making stuff up just to make it up? Look at this. Joe Rogan's chilling prediction about LA fires resurfaces as he recounts dark prophecy. It's not a prophecy. Unearthed clip of Joe Rogan making chilling prediction about how ferocious wildfires in Los Angeles have the potential to get out of hand has gone viral online. This week, at least 5 people have lost their lives in the devastating natural disaster. Is it natural disaster? Okay, let's say that it is. It could have been mitigated. I just went over that. With 2,000 structures completely obliterated and thousands of people left with nothing but ash, I just showed you why the insurance companies were like, okay, we're out. You're not going to do anything to mitigate this problem. I know it sounds like I'm taking the side of the insurance companies. I'm not. I'm just looking at it practically. I'm sure they did a cost benefit analysis and came to the conclusion this guy is throwing caution to the wind. Comedian Rogan was speaking to fellow comic Sam Morrill on an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience that aired on July 19th, 2024, when he mentioned wildfires in California. At one point, Morrell pointed out that the t-shirt Rogan was wearing represented the Los Angeles Fire Department, noting that it was a badass job. Rogan then recounted the stunning conversation he'd had with the firefighter about how wildfires could get shockingly out of hand. He said, quote, "One day it's just going to be the right wind, the fire's going to start in the right place, and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean, and there's not a effing thing we can do about it. If the wind hits the wrong way, if it's just going to burn through LA, and there's nothing they can do about it." And it's talking about how the wind can blow the embers through a dry Los Angeles climate. That's why I told you it's not a conspiracy. It's not that the insurance companies were in on it. Everybody knew this. Everybody knew it. Now, I told you earlier that this was an ideological difference, and I'm telling you, it is. It's how we view the world. Here, hold on a second. Now, some of you are not going to like this, but take a look at this. This is from Jesus. Still, why are you talking about Jesus? Are you saying that he's created this disaster? Of course not. I'm not saying this. I'm telling you it's Gavin Newsom's mismanagement. But I just want to show a difference here. Look at the birds of the air. This is Jesus talking. For they neither sow nor reap nor gather in the barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Jesus just told you what the ideological differences are. That's it. You see, we understand that human beings are worth more than that fish. Yes, human beings are worth more. What human being's life that we just lost was worth saving that? Why don't you tell me? You're the smart guy. Why don't you tell me? And then they abandoned the project of saving him in the first place. You see, it's an ideological difference. We see life as divine. They don't. They see it as sometimes inconvenient. That's why I don't feel sorry for any of these superstars that have houses there. Why did you build a house there? Why did you buy a house there? It's a tinderbox, and everybody knew it. I just showed you. Everyone knew it. So I know that there are people that, Gavin Newsom's a great governor. Oh, I know Sonny Hostin said he's pretty to look at, so you have to vote for him. Karen Bass, well, she's a strong, independent black woman, don't need no man, so you got to vote for her. How's that working out for you? How did it work out? You don't conserve the water. All that water we got, it was unbelievable. And it was so perplexing. Why are we going through a drought after this? Why do we have water problems after that ridiculous rain that God sent us? Well, as the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And you can give a liberal all the water in the world. They'll still prioritize the Delta fish over you. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.